Aloha, everyone, and welcome to our accepted student Q&A. I'm so happy that you guys could all make the time to be here. To get started, I just wanted to go through some reminders. Today's session is going to be webinar style, which means you can see us, but we can't see you, and all mics have been muted. The chat has been disabled, so please place any questions in the Q&A feature. I see that people are already putting their questions into the Q&A, so feel free to add any questions you might have. I do feel like we'll get through a lot of your questions today as we present, but any questions, feel free to put in there. If you see a question that other people have already asked that you also would like an answer to, feel free to upvote it and we'll try to get through as many questions as we can today. This session will be recorded and we will be posting it onto our YouTube page within about 48 hours of this webinar's conclusion. So first off, congratulations. You guys are all here today because you've been accepted to our school. So congratulations, or ho'o maika'i. We are so excited for you guys to come join us as Rainbow Warriors. So I hope you guys feel a little bit of relief once you've been accepted to school. I know the admissions process can be long and sometimes a little confusing. So we're here today to make sure that we get you ready to start school with us in the fall. Your acceptance letters, because I saw the first question was about your acceptance letter, it is sent via email. So the email that you received is your official acceptance letter. So if you need to use that for any academic purposes, that is your official letter of acceptance. So again, congratulations. Joining us today, we have two of our other admissions counselors, Hayden Iwasaki and Jose Magno. So they're going to be here to help us answer some questions. My name is Kristen. I am also one of the admissions counselors. You may have seen one of us at a high school visit or a college fair somewhere on the continental US or in Hawaii. Maybe you've come and visit us at a campus tour. So we're in the Office of Admissions at the University of Hawaii at Manoa. So if you ever do come and visit the school, you'll see us in the office. So today I'm just going to start by going over some background information about the school itself, because I know a lot of you are on this call because you may not have been able to visit the school. So we'll start with that and then we'll get into our next steps as accepted students. So some background information about the campus. We are the oldest and largest university in the state of Hawaii. We are the flagship campus of a 10-campus system. So that includes 7 community colleges and 3 four-year colleges. Our campus is located on the island of Oahu, and we are located in the city of Honolulu. So we are the largest city in the state. So there are a lot of people here. If you're looking for something to do, there's always something going on, lots of events. I believe there's a parade almost every month. So there's a lot of cool opportunities here. There's lots of restaurants, museums, and things to do. But we're in the back of the city. So we're in this beautiful residential area called Manoa in the heart of Manoa Valley. So where we are located is a lot more green. There's a lot more space. You don't even feel like you're in a city at all. Very safe neighborhood. And then because we're in the back of these mountains, we have a lot of hiking opportunities behind the school. You can't see it in the picture, but if you guys can imagine the mountains from Jurassic Park, those are the mountains we have behind the school that you guys can use to go hiking. And if you're more of a beach person, we're still only 15 minutes from the beach via bus. All active students get a bus pass, and you can use that bus to go all over the island. You don't need to stress about shipping a car out to the island. You can if you want, but I don't recommend it. I moved here also without a car, and I have seen more of these islands than some people that have been here their whole lives. So definitely don't stress about bringing out a car. The bus, yeah, it goes all over the city of Honolulu and the island itself. It goes straight through campus, the number 13, down to Waikiki, through Chinatown, and back up to campus, and does that all day. And then it goes to North Shore, East Side, West Side. So you can still be able to be independent and see the island, even if you don't have a car. The city, because we're in the city, is also very walkable. A lot of students bike, skateboard is really popular. So definitely a great place to be if you want to be independent and explore. Everything you see is here in white. This is our campus. So it's about 320 acres. On the left side of your screen is more of our school classroom buildings and our offices. And then on the right side, you can see is like our sports complex and our residence hall. So a really big, beautiful campus. We like to say we're a medium-sized school. We have about 12,000 undergraduate students, altogether about 18,000 students. So medium size, not too big, not too small. I feel like it's pretty much the perfect size campus. Demographically, we have about 66% local Hawaii students, but almost 30% of our student population does come from the continental US. So we have a lot of students that come, especially from the West Coast, but really all over, and decide to make the move to Hawaii. I myself, I moved here from New York, so also pretty far away. We also have the 6th most diverse campus in the United States. So you will meet people from literally all over. There's over 140 countries, regions, and territories represented here on campus. Average class size, since we get asked that a lot, is about 22 students. So I know that was a lot of information, but hopefully that gave you a good amount of background about the university itself. Another good thing to know, there are, like I said, a lot of things to do due to our location, but there's a lot of things to do on campus itself. We have over 100 clubs on campus. I highly recommend joining a club when you get to school. There'll be a few different events going on that will let you table and see what kind of clubs are offered. It's a great way to meet friends and people that have a similar interest. We have a lot of different clubs. We have a sandwich making club, a Nicki Minaj fan club, a K-pop cardio club. I know some of you are laughing. So no matter your niche interest, there is probably a club for you. We also have intramural sports. Those change every semester. Greek life, we have 3 sororities and 2 fraternities. Not as big as other campuses, but if you want that full Greek life experience, that is something that you can have here at our campus. We have our Kennedy Theater. They put on, I think, about 30 shows a year. So if you are artistic and want to take part or just go watch, that will be that's located directly on campus for you to attend. Besides that, if you're moving from far away and you always dreamed about moving to Hawaii and learning how to surf or something like that, we have our leisure center that's located down in our sports complex. They have classes students can join and learn things like surfing, sailing, scuba. I actually got my scuba certification with them. We started in the pool down in our sports complex and then moved out to the ocean. So definitely something to try out and take advantage of as a student. Besides that, we have our brand new Warrior Rec Center, which is our state-of-the-art gym. It was just built a few years ago. It's actually rated the best gym in Hawaii. There's over 120 cardio machines. There is a jogging track and a rock climbing wall and classes for you to take part in. So definitely use that while you're here. And then if you ever need help, we do also have tutoring services on campus. So if you ever need help with one of your classes or maybe help proofreading a paper, we have that available to you as well. And then other sports, I'm sure some of you are probably already talking to coaches, but we are a D1 sports campus. So athletics is pretty big here on campus. We have 22 different D1 sports on campus. You might know us from our men's volleyball. There's a picture of them on the screen. So they were the U.S. champions for 2021 and 2022, and fingers crossed 2023, we're hoping in the next few years. So they're pretty popular. But other sports that are really big are football, women's soccer, water polo. There's really a lot of options here on campus. And then again, if you want to play but not competitively, there are options for the intramural sports as well. If you are obviously thinking of coming here and you're very serious about it and you want to play a D1 sport, I would definitely say to go on the athletics page you see at the bottom and talk to a coach as soon as possible so they can give you more information. part of our sports is our band program. There are a lot of different bands to choose from if you want to keep playing an instrument here on campus. And part of those bands is also, we have a color guard and a rainbow dance team. They are fantastic. So if you are interested in joining any of them, their band page is there at the bottom. I do believe some of those bands even give a stipend to students to play and kind of earn some money for school as well. Similar to this, but not part of bands, we do have 2 choirs on campus, as well as an orchestra as well. So if you're interested in doing any of those things and continuing on and doing them in college, we have the options here for you. Okay, so that was a lot of the fun stuff. I could go through academic information and remind you that we're in the top 1% of schools in the world, but I don't want to bore you. So we are going to go through now your next step. But if you have any questions about anything, feel free to put them in the Q&A and we'll get to them at the end. I'll try to not talk so long so we have a lot of time for Kaden, Jose, and I to answer your questions, okay? So this is just a little bit about, we're gonna go through our next steps, our checklist, timeline, and then scholarship, housing, and course registration. Okay, so your next steps, for those of you that are not sure what to do, feel free to scan this QR code here. It will lead you to our new Warrior checklist, which I'll show you in a second. So I'll give you guys a second just to scan that QR code. And we can also have Kaden drop it in the chat as well. Thank you. Okay, so this is our new Rainbow Warrior checklist. Hopefully this list looks a little bit familiar to all of you. If it's completely brand new, then definitely make sure to click on Kaden's link in the chat just to take a look at it later on after. This list is going to be very important. I always tell my students that contact me to print it out, put it on the fridge, because it is pretty much what you have to do in order, everything you have to do on this list in order to start school with us in the fall. This list is also something that might be helpful for you if you're looking at other colleges as well. We all pretty much require the same steps. They just might have different dates and deadlines. So I'm going to walk you through this list right now quickly, and then I'll go into more detail about some of the more important ones or ones that you might be confused about afterwards. So again, this list is in your acceptance letter that was sent out via email. So if you didn't see it, you might have to scroll down a little bit. You'll also send reminders of this list and see it posted on a lot of our different websites, but definitely if you can print it out and just make sure you're following along and doing each step. So the first thing is to create your MyUH account. I'll go into that in just a few minutes on the next slide. So I'll get through the other stuff as well. But right now, a lot of students will email me and be like, what am I supposed to be doing? It feels like I should be doing something. The main thing that you could be doing right now is applying for financial aid. You guys are pretty lucky because today is February 1st. It's also the deadline for financial aid to submit your FAFSA. So if you have not done that, please do that after our call today. The deadline for your FAFSA is February 1st. You can submit it after. Sometimes students will submit it up until July and August. You can do it, but financial aid is first come, first served. So the earlier you can submit that, the better. We'll go into financial aid in a little bit more detail later, and then we'll have a webinar next week where you can find out more details about that. The next step, number 3, meet with us. That is something you guys are doing right now. You're meeting with us, answering or getting your questions answered. Another way you might do this is to come on a campus tour, come visit the island. We have accepted student events that will be happening in March and April in California, possibly some other states and Oahu. So definitely, and our neighbor island. So definitely try to go to those. You'll receive an invite for them. But that one is not required. You don't have to come here and see the campus before you decide to come here, but definitely something we encourage people to do. The next step, number 4 and number 5, I'll kind of put them together, is to submit your intent to enroll or your tuition deposit. It's the same thing. We just refer to it by two different names. And to apply for student housing. The deadline for both of those things is going to be May 1st. So if there is any date that you need to remember, it is May 1st. You can mark that big on your calendar. Your tuition deposit, that's going to be a $200 fee that you have to pay online. The link is on the checklist in your email. We can also send it to you if you can't find it anywhere. That $200 is deducted from your whole tuition cost. So you'll see that deducted when you go to pay your tuition. Sometimes at our big events in the spring, we do tuition tuition deposit waivers that you guys can do to waive that deposit. That $200 will then just get put on the end of your tuition. Something to look out for if you are planning to come to one of our accepted student events. But that $200 will be due May 1st. Student housing, their application should open up in the middle of February and it will close May 1st. We'll go into a little bit more detail of that in a few slides because I know you guys have a lot of questions regarding housing. Number 6, submitting your final documents. Your final high school transcript, if you're an incoming freshman, will be due in the summer. We try to tell you to send it in June. You'll receive emails to send it. Just make sure to send it to us. We will check it over, make sure you graduated and completed all your classes. So definitely remind your counselors to send it. It will have to come straight from your school to us. If you're taking any AP classes, we'll need your official scores from the college board. You can tell them to send it to us. And if you're taking any college credit at any colleges, we'll need your official college transcripts as well to transfer in any credits. So just make sure if you're taking classes anywhere that you send them to us. If they're not official for some reason, we will just tell you to send us an official version. But that's what submit your final documents means. The next step, prepare your class schedule. We'll get into later, so no need to go through it now. Pay your tuition, self-explanatory, right? You have to pay for your tuition, unfortunately. Number 9, submit your health clearance. There is a form you have to complete and send to our registrar office. They do require some immunizations and vaccines. No COVID vaccine is not required for fall 2023, but things can always change. Just make sure to submit your health clearance. If you have any questions, you can also email or call our registrar office. The last step, number 10, is getting oriented. That is to come join us at our orientation. We know a lot of people are coming from farther away. So normally orientation happens at the same time as student move-in. So the same week. So you don't need to come out in the middle of the summer and then again, when you start school, you'll just come out for the same week, start school or move in about a week before school starts and have orientation at the same time. Generally, there's like one day where there's a family orientation in case parents want to stay and learn more about the school as well. So that's kind of a really fast rundown of the list. If you pull up the list that Kaden put into the chat, it will bring up all these things again. And underneath each step, it lists all the details, deadlines, contact information for each step. So make sure to read that thoroughly. And if you have any questions, contact whoever it says to contact under each step. If you're super confused or you want me to personally go through the list with you again, you can always email or call our office so we can help you through the steps as well. So let me go into detail a little bit further about some of these steps you might be asking about in the Q&A already. So again, the first one is to create your MyUH account. This is the first step you're told to do once you become an accepted student. If you're not sure if you're going to start school with us in the fall, still create your MyUH account because it will be the way that you'll receive emails from the school. So even if you're not sure, that's totally fine. Still create your MyUH account. Going forward, all departments like financial aid, housing, will email your MyUH account. our office will still email your personal email. So just continue to check both. Sometimes emails go in the spam or junk folder of your personal email. So make sure to check that folder as well or add us to your address book. So besides checking your email, once the financial aid packages are assembled, you'll be able to view that in March on your MyUH account. You'll also be able to register for classes and pay your tuition. So definitely something you need to do as soon as possible. So financial aid, this will start hopefully becoming available in March, possibly even end of February. They are processed in order of acceptance. And again, the deadline for FAFSA is today, February 1st. Notifications on your financial aid are going to be sent to your hawaii.edu email. You'll be able to check your package in your UH account. Kaden and I and the rest of the people in the admissions office, we cannot see your financial aid information. It's classified. We have separate specialists in the financial aid office that can. So if you have any specific questions about your financial aid or your financial situation in general, those will all go to our financial aid specialist. They also have a virtual front desk, which is the main way that they talk to students. So if you have any questions, you can scan this QR code here, and it's available from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. So if you wanted to talk to them quick, you could leave this webinar and talk to them now if you wanted to. But I don't recommend it right now because we have a lot more important things to talk about. Okay, so scholarships. A lot of you probably have scholarships on the brain. The deadline originally for our New Warrior scholarships was January 24th. So I'm sure we received a lot of your scholarships last week. For those of you that maybe missed that deadline or want to apply for other scholarships, I always say apply to as many as possible. There is a lot of money out there for you guys to take. So our STAR scholarships and our UH system scholarships are probably our other biggest portals for you to look through to see what scholarships you might qualify for. You can view those with that QR code at the bottom. And then again, definitely apply for FAFSA so that you can see what need-based aid you might be qualified for, as well as any like work study and loans as well. So definitely make sure to do your FAFSA and then apply for any scholarships. Kaden can also put some scholarship portals in the link in the chat. Student housing, always a popular, where there's the most questions, a popular thing to learn about. There is student housing on campus. Students are not required to live on campus, but we do have about 4,000 students that live on campus each year. There are 4 residence halls. These are called our Hale Aloha Towers that are reserved for freshmen only. So for the most part, if you're coming in as a new freshman student, you'll probably be housed in those towers. They're identical. They're double rooms. Students are placed at random, but if you know a student that you already want to live with, maybe you're moving here with your best friend, you guys just have to put each other on your application and note each other. So one of you can't just list the other. And then we will do our best to place you together. And when I say we, I mean our housing office. Those applications, again, should become available sometime in mid-February, so look out for that. You should receive an email as well once they're open. The deadline is May 1st. Please make sure to submit your application by the housing deadline. In summer, you'll receive your assignment of who you're going to be rooming with and where you'll room. And then move-in week, these are the tentative dates based off of last year. It should be sometime right before, so the week before class starts. I believe last year the students moved in the Tuesday before school started. So just some dates to think about. I do know that housing always suggests and encourages people not to purchase any flights until you have your housing contract. So something to keep in mind. As someone that buys flights pretty frequently to New York, I know the flights don't change that drastically between now and a few months from now. So I would wait until you have your contract in hand for housing so you kind of know when to arrive. Okay. The next thing, most important, is to register for classes. So Before you register for classes, a lot of students will receive emails from advisors or notifications to make an appointment with an advisor. Definitely meet with your advisor before you pick your classes so they can help you decide what classes to choose. You can technically go in there and pick your own classes, but if you don't meet with your advisor, there'll be a hold put on your account until you do meet with your advisor. So make sure to meet with them. We'll have the link in the chat with where to find your advisor information if you have any questions you want to ask them now. But once we get to, like, I would say early May, I would start trying to reach out to your advisor to schedule an appointment to chat with them about picking out any classes. Besides that, you'll have access to our STAR GPS system. It will basically map out the next 4 years for you and let you know what classes you have to take in order to graduate on time. So you'll always kind of have an idea of what classes to take, but your advisor will be there to help answer any questions and let you know what other alternatives there can be as well. Besides that, if you need to take a placement exam, possibly, normally those are in like math, chemistry, or a foreign language. We'll put the link in to find out more information about signing up for a placement exam. That will be with the departments themselves. Besides that, class registration is right now slated to be late May, but it may change to late June. So keep an eye on that. You'll obviously be notified if anything changes. All of these dates are tentative. They should be around the same time, but things might change as we are still deciding on our fall 2023 academic calendar. But hopefully they all remain pretty similar to what we have put in this slideshow today. Besides that, we have special first year programs. One of them is called ACE, or Access to College Excellence. And there's another class, UNIV 110. We'll later on have some separate webinars about these programs to go into more information about them. But there are special programs you'll be told about that have pretty much help new students transition into the college lifestyle. So we do have special programs for incoming students. Okay, so this is what your STAR GPS looks like. This is just a screenshot of a student interface. Feel free to scan the QR code at the top and save it for later into your YouTube settings. It will show you how to register for classes. So I can always send this to you if you miss taking a screenshot of this now. But this will show you step by step how to register for classes. Again, once you decide on coming to the University of Hawaii at Manoa, you will have to pay your tuition deposit. This is a $200 fee. You cannot register for classes unless you pay this fee, because this fee lets us know that you're coming to school. Coming here, the $200 fee is also non-transferable and non-refundable. So I always tell students to wait until they know that they want to come here for sure. Again, try to do that before May 1st. Once you pay that fee, you should be able to register for classes. Okay, just a quick timeline of the next few months. Feel free to take a picture if you like and want to refer to it later. Just for you guys to get an idea of what is going to be happening over the next few months. During the month of April, we give out our scholarship awards for the most part. If you apply to different offices, they could have different dates that they release their scholarships. During the months of April, May, June, you can see at the bottom to take your placement exam. If you haven't done that, try to do that first, or around the same time that you're talking to your academic advisor, so they know better what classes you do or do not need to take. Besides that, you can see beginning of May is your intent to enroll / tuition deposit and housing application due. Try to do those, if you want to do them now, feel free, but try to do it before May 1st. Then again, course registration mostly happens during the months of May and June. Meet with your academic advisor before you register for courses. Besides that, June, submit your final high school transcript. Hopefully in June, you'll be assigned your housing assignment. Again, if you have not met with your academic advisor or taken placement exams, do that now. July, again, same thing. Make sure you've sent your transcript and met with your academic advisor. And then August probably has the most items. This is because the month where you start school on August 21st. August 1st is when your health clearance will be due. Again, if you have any questions, we can put the contact for that in the chat. August 15th to 18th should be the time of move-in and the same time as our Warrior Welcome Week or new student orientation. So it'll be the week directly before school starts. Financial aid is tentatively going to be released August 11th. Normally it happens about 10 days before the first day of the semester. And then tuition payment is tentatively due August 17th. So feel free to take a picture. All dates are tentative, but based off last year, this should be pretty similar to what it will be this year. Okay. Now we have come to the best part. You will not have to hear me speaking. We are going to do the Q&A. So I will help read off the questions and help answer whichever ones I can. Feel free to put any questions in the Q&A again. If you see a question that you want an answer to, feel free to upvote it. You don't have to ask it again. If any questions are super specific, we may write you to contact a specific office you might need to talk to, but we will try to get through as many questions as possible before this webinar ends today. In the meantime, we have some contact information. You can also take a picture of this on our screen. If you have specific questions about academic advising, housing, financial aid, or you want to talk to us at our office, we're here now. You can always call or email any of us or go on financial aid's virtual front desk. So definitely reach out to us if you have any questions after today. We will try to get through as many questions as possible. Okay, so starting at the top, Jose and Kaden are going to help me. I see I did this one. When can we apply for housing? So that will be starting in mid-February. The next question, how does WUI work? Great question. So there's probably a lot of WUI students on this call. Every school does that a little differently. So at our school, it's automatic. It's based on your admissions application. So you don't need to worry about doing any separate paperwork, and all undergraduate majors are eligible. So if you change your major, you'll still receive that WUI tuition rate. Okay, back to the top. How do breaks work? Kaden, you want to answer that?
Yeah, of course. So as a college student, unlike in your high school curriculum, you actually get to choose your class schedule. And so our classes are typically Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Tuesday, Thursday. And once you're admitted and you work with your academic advisor is going to be the one that will help you select your courses that you're going to be taking incoming freshman year fall semester. Now, depending upon what times those courses are, you can have a break at any point in the day. And so it's kind of cool in a sense because you can set or make your own college schedule. Some students who are early risers, they like to wake up early, take classes at 7:30, maybe have back-to-back classes, and finish at 12:30. Other students, they want to wake up later, start their classes at 10:30. And so it all depends. And so you have the freedom as well as the luxury to kind of play around with your class schedule with your academic advisor and kind of choose whenever your breaks are going to be. So unlike high school, you get a lot of freedom, and that's a pretty cool thing about college.
Thank you. And then Kaden, you want to explain again how the roommate process works?
Yeah, so when you submit your application with the student housing, on the application itself, it'll ask you if you would like to select a roommate. Both you and that person need to put each other's names on your folks' applications. So you're going to put your friend's name on your application. Your friend is going to put your name on their application. And you need to specify or select the same exact resident hall. So if you choose Halealoha Towers, they got to choose that as well. And a student housing office will try as best as possible to assign you to the same room. It's not guaranteed, but as long as you have those two pieces of information consistent with one another, they'll try their best to assign you to the same room.
Thank you. And Kaden, since there's a few major scholarship questions, can you help answer when the scholarships will be awarded or when they'll hear back from scholarships again? I know that was answered in the slideshow. And then how many students typically get awarded the UH system scholarship?
So scholarship review is around late February. And so hopefully by March, early to mid-March, if we're thinking about like the New Warrior Scholarship, for those of you that have applied, you should receive acceptance or denial email around that time. In terms of the UH Common Scholarship application, that deadline is March 1st. And so you're probably not going to receive an email notification saying that you were awarded it, probably around like late March, early April time. I know National Commitment Day is May 1st, so we do try to award students scholarships before then so that they can make informed decisions about whether or not it is feasible and financially okay to attend our university.
Okay, perfect. Sorry, I'm trying to skip around because I see there's a lot of repeat questions. When do I schedule classes for fall 2023? So that will be starting hopefully in end of May, possibly end of June. So you'll be notified when to schedule your classes. Kaden, can you answer the move-in date for the dorms again?
The student housing office doesn't have exact move-in dates for the fall semester as of yet. Typically is the week before the semester starts. So our semester starts August 21st, I believe. And so that week prior, we do recommend that you kind of save that week if you are planning to come here to move in. Last year, the student housing office denoted 2 days specific for students to move in, and we're not entirely sure if that's going to be the case this year as well. And so just stay tuned. We do have another webinar coming on up in a few weeks where we will have a student housing representative come and do a webinar presentation. And so maybe there might be some more clarification at that point in time if you folks are available.
Perfect. And then someone was asking about double majoring, if that's possible. Kaden was a triple major, so he will tell you it is. Kaden, can you tell them how that process works?
Yeah, of course. So thank you, Kristen, for just saying that out loud. When you come into our university, there is no option for you to double major when you submit an application with us. And so once you start taking courses your freshman year, if you do want to double major, you would just have to reach out to your academic advisor, have a conversation with them, say that you would like to pursue another degree, and they will kind of work with you as well as the other major advisor that you're currently interested in. And you would work together with both of those advisors to make sure that you are taking the necessary courses so that you can still graduate in 4 years with a double major.
Perfect. Besides that, let's see, can scholarships be stacked? Kaden.
So it depends on the type of scholarship. So for instance, if you've received our academic merit scholarship, and then you were awarded our New Warrior Scholarship, those two things can't be stacked together. If you received our WUI or Western Undergraduate Tuition reduction and you get our New Warrior, those two things can be stacked together. If you receive like a STAR scholarship or a common scholarship, those can be stacked as well. It's just for the New Warrior and the academic merit, those two scholarships can't be stacked. So it'd be good if you have received a scholarship outside of our admissions office or outside of the financial aid package to kind of reach out to them and ask if it is possible. And in most cases, you can.
Perfect. Moving from the mainland, what's my first day on campus going to look like? How about my first week? That really depends on how many classes you signed up for. Generally, our students take about 15 credits per semester, which is about 5 classes per semester. So it really depends on when your classes are. Some popular your classes could be at 8 a.m., your classes could be at 4 p.m. It's really up to you what classes you sign up for, what you need to take. So you'll probably have all of your classes the first week, probably go to each one about 3 times, and you'll have events on campus to meet different friends. On the first day of campus, there's a huge event for new students with food, music, games. You'll be able to see what clubs are available on campus to join, and the departments will be out there as well. So there will be a lot of things to do on campus your first week. No matter if you're coming from the continental US or Hawaii, it would be a pretty similar first week of school. Besides that, I did see, one more scholarship question regarding WUI. WUI is not a scholarship, so you can put any scholarships you receive on top of WUI. It's not a scholarship. Besides that, my questions keep scrolling down. I did see someone asking about specialized communities. There are different types of housing. There's housing for our freshman students. We have graduate housing, disability accommodations, as well as, I'm reading, LGBTQ plus housing too. So there is a link, if Kaden can drop that in the chat when you have a second, to learn more about each program if you would like to take part in it. So yes, there are a lot of different housing communities to be part of. Student parking, you have to sign up to get a permit and pay for it separately. Freshman students do have last choice for student parking. The students with the most credits, so seniors to freshmen, get to choose first if they want a permit. So I always encourage students to wait to buy a car or ship a car over when you come to Hawaii, because it's not necessary. I know that from personal experience, and you may not have a spot on campus. So you can always apply for a spot, but do know freshmen are at the bottom for applying for a permit pass. Okay, there's so many questions. How close are the closest convenience stores and grocery stores like Target, Safeway, Foodland? Kaden?
I would say Target is about a 15-minute bus ride. It's located right next to Ala Moana Shopping Center, for those of you who might have visited our islands before. We do have a CVS. It's called Long's here, about like a 10 to 15-minute walk from campus. And so everything that you need is going to be relatively close to our campus itself. Actually, Walmart is very near Target as well. So about 15-minute bus ride away, there is a CVS about 10 to 15-minute walk away from campus. So there you go.
Perfect. So let's go through. Okay. Is there any way to get in contact with admitted students? I know there are some schools who offer group chats. I believe there is a Facebook group of current students that you can join. There is no specific group we have to contact current students. If you're coming from the continental US or neighbor island, there is a mentorship program that you'll be emailed to join. So definitely look out for that, but no specific. I'm not aware. Kaden, are you aware of any Facebook or Instagram group of current students?
I think there's a few. If you just type in University of Hawaii Manoa student group, I think there should be a few that have a bunch of members. I think one that I recently saw had about 4,000 student members, probably current as well as past members or students who were here as, who attended here. So I'm not entirely sure the number now, and those student Facebook groups are not moderated by our office, or they're not basically affiliated with our university. They're just basically like student-run Facebook groups of UH Manoa students.
Got it. Are there on-campus jobs? Yes, there are over 4,000 jobs on campus. So if you do want to work, definitely there's a possibility to get work experience, and the pay is competitive on campus. It's also, the jobs are pretty flexible because they know that you're students first. I would definitely say wait to take classes for a few weeks to see if you can also manage a job on top of that. But there will be a job fair in the first few weeks of school where you can apply for any on-campus housing. But applications are open to apply for jobs throughout the year. You just have to be registered for classes in order to apply for jobs. And then I know someone was asking about work study. So since it's similar, work study, you have to be qualified for work study through our financial aid office in order to have a work study specific job. Normally those students work for about 20 hours a week or up to 20 hours a week at a job on campus. So not all of our jobs are work study. So if you don't get work study through financial aid, you can still work on campus. So don't worry about that if you don't qualify. Oops. Okay, sorry. Just getting through all the questions. Okay, what activities are there for new students for the week of welcome? Kaden, you want to take that one?
Yeah, give me 1 second. So the week of welcome is going to be the week before the school starts. And during that time, we have this program called New Student Orientation. And so incoming freshmen, they typically sign up, and we have current students who, with an advisor, run a program to help students and parents get accustomed to the university life. And so they do like campus tours, they go registration, they have like a transfer day, and they have a bunch of different activities to kind of help students form a sense of community here and make some friends and be familiar with the campus itself. And so when new student orientation registration occurs or happens, we highly encourage students and parents to register for that event and to come that week.
Thank you. Someone asked, is a moped a good idea? A lot of students do decide to get a moped when they're out here. I think that they're really cool. I would wait a little bit before buying one. They are really easy to also steal. So there is a lot of moped stuff just around the island. Same thing, like if you have a really expensive bike, just make sure to get a really good lock. So are they a good idea? They're very convenient. It's just they do get stolen, and it does rain a lot out here, so it's not the safest if you're going to be like riding in rain. So don't buy a moped your first day. I would say wait it out a little bit, and then when you make friends with someone that has one, they can give you more information on that. Okay, let me get to the next question. Sorry, every time someone writes a new question, all of the questions move from where I was looking. How do I know if my FAFSA was received by UH Manoa? So if you put down the University of Hawaii at Manoa on your FAFSA application, and if you go back in and you see that it says University of Hawaii at Manoa, you can list up to 10 schools. So just double check you listed us. We should get your FAFSA information, and we start making your packets in March. They normally don't reach out to you unless there's an issue. So no news is good news. If you're really concerned, like you think you might have listed the wrong school, you can always give them a call or go on their virtual front desk. But as long as you put them, you should get your package sometime in March. Let's see. Is it easy to get around campus? It's super easy to get around campus. It's very walkable. The city itself is super walkable. Again, a lot of students bike, skateboard, walk. The bus goes everywhere. So if I wanted to jump on it right now and go to the North Shore, I could do that. I moved out here without a car. I still don't have a car. And again, I've been to more places on this island and other islands than other people. There's always a possibility to rent cars. You'll make friends that have cars if you need to drive somewhere, but I'm telling you, it's super walkable. The bus goes everywhere. We are in a city, so you don't need to stress about having a car. Kaden, what is the largest class size?
I believe the largest class size is about 300 students. We do have large lecture halls that accommodate around that size, but for a lot of those classes, we do like a lab section as well. And so, for instance, we have this major called communicology, which I was a major in, and our 151 as well as 251 introductory level courses. Students met once a week in that big, large lecture hall. And then the other 2 days out of the week, you met in smaller lab sections that were like 15 to 20 students. And so it was great to kind of connect with all of those students in your lab section, make some friends, while also having that kind of like once a day, well, once a week, kind of like big atmosphere of a lecture hall and have it more of like a college feel.
Perfect. I do see someone asking about coming in as undeclared at our school. We call that exploratory. It's actually a popular major here. So you will be with a lot of other students that declared exploratory. Those students work with our main advising office, our Manoa Advising Center, in order to choose their classes. They'll sit with you and kind of figure out what are your likes, dislikes, so you can get a better idea of what you want to major in. Those students do not need to choose their major until their junior year. The first 2 years, you'll be fulfilling your gen ed requirements and taking a little bit of classes in different areas. So if you want to change your major, because I saw a lot of questions on that, you can always change your major. You're not stuck. If you know you want to change now, you can email our office up until a certain point. Come April or once school starts, you will have to talk to your advisor and they'll change your major. They can add a major. If you want to add a minor, they'll help you with that. Okay, next question. How and when do we transfer running start questions? So if you are taking any college credit or any AP classes or really any school other than your current high school, please send over your transcripts. Normally you send them once your coursework is complete. You can send it now if you're finished. If your classes are in progress, just know you'll have to send it now. And then again, once your classes are complete, we'll need your full official final grades. And official means comes from the school or organization like College Board directly. If you send them, if it has your name at all, like saying that it was sent to you, even if it says it was official, it's considered unofficial. So it has to come from that school straight to us. So definitely make sure to send those so we can transfer in classes. Kaden, can you drop the link in for the transfer credit database?
Yeah.
That database will be super helpful for you. If you guys have taken any college credit, you can put your class in that database and it should show you what it would transfer into at our campus. I will say not every single class is in the database. It's just what has already been transferred into the university. So there are still thousands of classes in there. But if you don't see your class, it just means that nobody has transferred in that class from that university into our school. So we would normally require the syllabus to check with the department. If it says no, what does it say, Kaden? No evaluation found or something. If it says
Something like
no,
that.
yeah, something no evaluation found, that means that there's no transfer credit. Normally that's just for like very remedial courses. I do see a bunch of questions on tuition payment. Again, that date, August 17th, is tentative, but it would be the entire tuition paid by that date. There are payment plans. I can look up our cashier's office information. Those will be through our cashier's office. Actually, Kaden, can you drop the cashier's office in the chat? Yeah. So if you need to take a payment plan, that will all be through our cashier's office. They can help you set that up. Okay, next question. If I want to live in a different building and I'm a freshman student, am I able to? So as an incoming freshman, I believe you can put whatever building you want to live in on your application. I will say that most freshman students are placed in the freshman tower. So you can put your desired choice on your application, but it is based on availability. And they do try to place all the freshman students together. Okay, then when you have a chance, I'll get to you in a second. I know you're looking for a link for me. I did see some questions on an honors program. We do have an honors program. Thank you for asking. I'm sorry, I forgot to talk about that earlier. They do require a 3.5 GPA or above, and there is a separate interview process. So if you want to be part of that, that information is on our website. That definitely is a great thing to join. There's smaller class sizes. They do have a separate project and separate classes you have to complete. Yeah. Sorry, someone wants me to pin my screen, but I don't know if you want to see my screen. I don't, maybe you want to see my face. Anyways, oh, okay. I will work on that. But anyways, make sure if you want to do an honors program to go on their website so you can sign up for the honors program and do the interview process with them. It's a good way to have smaller classes and more one-on-one time with your professor if that's something that you would prefer. How do you see which major you chose on MyUH? Kaden, are the students able to see what major they chose?
Within the STAR GPS system, you should be able to view your major.
Okay, perfect. And if you're not sure or you want to change again, you can email us at the admissions office and we can tell you what major you put. Okay, next question. How does study abroad work? Kaden and I, both studied abroad. So we will tell you that it's one of the coolest things ever. For me, it's one of the best things I've ever done besides moving to Hawaii. So Kaden, do you want to tell them how study abroad and the Manoa International Exchange work?
Yeah, so we have two different offices, like Kristen said, the study abroad office, as well as the international exchange office. They're a little different in kind of like what kind of services that they provide for students. So for international exchange, basically it's like a one-on-one exchange per university that we partner with. So if you want to go to, let's say, Japan, and there's a university that we have that we partner with, you're going to apply through our International Student Service office. And if you get approved, that means that a student from that university in Japan wants to come to UH Manoa. And so basically you can either do a semester, a year, or a summer term, and basically you exchange places, which is pretty cool. And you can spend the fall semester, the whole year, or the summer, and then come back and continue on as a regular UH Manoa student. Study abroad is a little bit different in the sense that instead of an exchange one-on-one, you go up as a cohort of students for either a semester or a year. You don't have to take the same courses as a cohort, but within that cohort, you're going to have a faculty or professor that helps you through the entire process. You go there as a group and you can either live on campus depending upon the university, or you can do like a homestay where you stay with like a host family, and then you take courses at that university and then they plan different activities for you during your exchange. So two different offices, two different kind of programs that we offer, but we do partner with over 160 different universities worldwide. And so you can take your education anywhere around the world. So it's pretty cool. And I highly recommend it for students.
Okay, so we are at the end of time. I will answer one more question. There are a lot of repeat questions and a lot of questions we're going to answer in future webinars. If you're dying to know the answer to any of these questions, feel free to email our office or call us. We're very responsive. We just are on a different time zone than a lot of people. But if you want to know a question, like, do you go surfing all the time? Yes, you can definitely go surfing all the time. You should still go to all of your classes, but if you want to surf every single day of the week, we have staff members that do that as well. So feel free to call us or email us anytime if you have any questions. We are super responsive. I will answer one last question. Let me look for a good one that will apply to a lot of people. Let's see, how easy is it to switch your major? So it is pretty easy to switch your major. You just have to request it. Just sometimes the advisor will request to meet with you because sometimes it's because the student is having difficulty in a certain class. So they just want to make sure that you're not changing your major when you just might need a little bit of extra help, say in a certain class, or there might be an alternative route for you to go. So it's pretty easy. It's you'll be able to, just know you might have to meet with your advisor. So you can always switch your major, and again, you'll still be able to receive your WUI tuition. So there are still a lot of questions. I'm sorry we couldn't get to all of them, but next week we will be having a financial aid webinar, and we will have someone here from financial aid to answer a lot of your financial questions. So definitely look out for that invite. And if you have any questions in the meantime, feel free to contact us anytime, Monday through Friday, and we would be happy to answer your questions. Thank you so much for joining us, Kate and Jose. Thank you for helping to answer all the questions. Again, congratulations, and I look forward to talking with you guys throughout the semester. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Thank you, guys.